Okay, welcome back. So we are here again with another VoD review. This is Oddball on Streets, and this is at Gold 6 Elo. So we're keeping with the sort of high gold, low platinum videos. We've got diamond and other stuff coming soon. And also some unranked and stuff for new players as well. So we've got a Gold 6 player who is going to be playing Oddball. So as far as I know, this is not a pre-made team at all. This guy's playing solo. So what we're going to be looking for at the start of the match is how are they setting up? Because Oddball, you know, it's very much a case of if you have the ball, you can position it in a way that means your opponent can't score, which is one of the most important parts. And especially at higher ranks, Oddball kind of devolves into this kind of mini Slayer, because it's risky to hold the ball when your team's not in a position to be able to defend it, because then if you lose it and the other team has a better defense than you, then it's basically GG because you lose the round and you have to break their setup, etc. So, in terms of what I'm expecting here, I'm going to look at how the team starts at the beginning. I believe in this video this is a subway spawn, so we'll see how they split up, and we'll sort of talk about the kind of things you want to be paying attention to on spawn and sort of where people go and what that means. Also, this player apparently plays a super widescreen because this aspect ratio is very different to anything I've ever before, so sorry if the game appears a bit small for you today. Oh no, so it's the top spawn. So the decision there was good to not go straight to where the teammate was, sort of up here. And they've kind of gone, this guy's gone straight mid, this is very dangerous, and this guy's looking B-rail. So what you would usually see in an organized team is you may get a push here, you'll get someone on the rail where the red gun is, and you'll get someone on the B-rail over here. Now what you want to be careful of is you need to see, like, there's usually this mad rush for rockets, and if you're a curb slide god, you can argue that you can run in and get it. But against a competent team, if you blindly rush in for rockets, you are dead. If you take first shot, and then you have to back up and get your shields back, then the other team gets rockets, they can push the ball, etc. At the start of the game here, you really want to be sort of just fishing for opportunities and sort of feeling out the enemy team. If they grab ball in ATM, it is a 3v4, because the guy with the ball cannot shoot back. So you don't shoot him, you shoot the other guys that are shooting you. So let's have a look what happens at the start of this match. So we're pushing up mid to support. Drop shield usage was a good idea. We traded a kill, but then we saw an opportunity to go mid. But then the teammate with rockets kind of pushed solo. He should have kind of come back here, because now the rockets are sort of in this area somewhere. And if you look on the kill feed, it was a trade, so the rockets are still up. You really want to prioritize rockets because the momentum they give allows you to get the ball. But we know there's someone, there might be some other teammates over here, enemies over here, and there potentially might be some enemies over here. Okay, so they're on bottom B stairs, two of them. That guy's in benches. We had a little bit of an advantage there. We could have potentially gone forward a little to help out. And the loss of the rockets there is just a bit of lack of aggression in an advantageous situation, I suppose.
Enemy has the ball.
Okay, so what we're going to think here. So we're spawning trash. Look how many people are dead. You got one ally up and yourself. You need to be trying to get information, but not putting yourself in a position that's going to cause you to be picked off and killed, because then you're going to rotate spawns on your team. Let's see. Okay, just getting a bit of info. That guy stood in a very questionable place. I like this holding the angle. This is good. They could have naded you out, but they chose not to. Again, people tend not to check the trash angle for some reason. I'm not sure why. I suppose you could say that was a misplay from the other team. You should have died because the guy had a rocket launcher. But your teammates would have cleaned up anyway. So they're getting a PD spawn here. Good moving back. I was going to comment on this. You can shoot through this angle here without standing right up on the door. Standing back and giving yourself space to retreat, and also exit options, because now we can go window or we can go to B. But because they're in the PD area, we need to make sure that we're careful of who might be pushing caution. So I would probably hang on the left-hand side here, because if we just clear this, in terms of who's got what, I would say this is sort of like your team is like this side of the line, and the enemy team is like the other side of the line, and you definitely don't want to be retreating this way if you take damage, because they probably all spawned up there. Because this guy's here. Wow, that guy loves his W key. Okay, we have an advantage here and we're not pushing it. The enemy team wasn't here yet. We should have pushed quickly then. We could have collapsed and then fish the rest of the kills. Okay, a bit of desync there, but that's fine. This is good. Remember, the enemy team can see where you are when you've got the ball, so you don't want to walk into open areas like that. No one's watching pink. That guy walked past your whole team. So, this is not necessarily this player, but like when you're in a game and if you're definitely gold, you want to be making sure that you're defending the oddball. People have this tendency to just like wander off and just start playing Slayer for some reason when they have the ball. You have to be really careful doing that, because if you push too far, you'll, one, move the spawns for the enemy team, which means they might spawn close to the ball, and two, you just leave the ball carrier vulnerable, because if that guy, if your carrier gets jumped, they have to drop the ball, equip the weapon, and then shoot, and it's highly unlikely they're going to get the first shot in this scenario, so you always want to make sure you're covering an angle for them, and that guy literally just ran through your entire team. So we're not focusing, not you in particular, but your teammates were not focusing on what was going on close by. This guy's holding back here, this is fine. And now we've got the spawn on C, so hopefully this ball guy's going to rotate towards Cafe maybe. He tried.
Enemy has the ball.
Again, holding an angle, not holding W, this is good. You pushed a little bit there when you didn't have to though. So good intentions, but just a little too fast pushing up. You should have de-scoped and got information first, but the idea was good.
We have the ball.
Okay, we know they're A. Holding PD's not good, you're not being as helpful. Right, we want to move a little bit forward here, so if they return fire, we don't get caught. Remember, I'm trying to give tips here for if you're against better players. In a gold lobby, the other team will make a lot of mistakes, and there, because of where you were stood, you were kind of open to being killed. And you can see you're also taking fire from C now as well. I would have just dipped. That guy had first shot. Yeah, get out. It's fine. Oh, you don't want this fight. I would have stayed down. Yeah, you're toying with death here. It's not egotist. It's not an ego chal, but you're toying with death. You should have died for that. It's fine. Nice little team shot. We're gonna get a triple. Nice triple. Good team shot. Good. Team working together. That's what we want to see. Usually in gold, it's going to be the team that works together the most that wins, because again, the shots are not, the use of power weapons and advantage is not going to be huge in this elo. You need to scope in more though. So just a little thing there. If you imagine that this is like the target, if you're not scoped in with the BR, then you'll get a random spread of shots that could be anything in a certain space. If you're scoped in, then it just goes 1, 2, 3 on the same space. So if you're shooting a target that's far away, especially if you're playing keyboard and mouse, you want to be scoped in, even if you get de-scoped, because it's not hard to re-scope. You could have your scoping key on right click, or you can have it on the left trigger, and both of them are easily accessible. I don't recommend having scoping on the right click of the on the right stick, but I did play that for a very long time because of Halo 2 and Halo 3 and their control schemes. So I understand if you're a right click zoom in person, lots of pros still are from muscle memory. So
Halfway to victory.
those guys are oblivious. That guy taking the 2v1 though. 3v1. There's 3 people in this area and this guy's still alive.
Enemy has the ball.
You can tell from the video that there's a very distinct lack of situational awareness from gold players. Not to flame, but you can tell that they're not very aware of what's going on around them. It's almost like they're not playing with headsets on sometimes. That was cool. We need to get our PD to get info. That's good. Holding a different angle. Oddball should not have challenged there. Oh my god, no way. So that oddball player should have stayed inside. Again, just complete lack of awareness whatsoever. There's you can see that there's a lot of W going on here. There's a lot of holding forwards and not thinking. Okay, we're holding the caution angle. We're holding the door. This is okay. We want to see what's happening to the left though. That's the main flank route for when you're stood here. Also, it's okay to stand in caution, but remember, if you do this, you have no escape. So people tend to sort of hang around near this door here. Obviously, there was a guy up here from earlier, so we couldn't necessarily go up there. Just, if you stand here, look, it's going to take so much time to get to the door. So you could have done this, but you could have just stood here while you were doing it. Like, the idea of holding this area was fine. There is like a little hidey hole in the back of caution if you like jump up. But again, it's a very like passive position, and it puts you in a very risky position if the enemy team just pushes with 2 players, because you ain't getting away if they can aim. So good idea to hold, but bad positioning. I think the oddball carrier should have just dropped the ball and smoked that player then, but okay. That's a very big challenge from that player. Just blind. So another thing. Let's go back to 45. Watch how this player just jumps around the corner. Don't do this. Hello. He just jumps around the corner. He's making. Oh, when you're jumping, so like jumping is a good thing to do, but you don't want to be in a jump in a fight more than you have to, because once you jump, you can't change your trajectory. If you strafe, you can go like left, right, crouch, up, down, whatever. You can gandy hop when you jump, I suppose, which is crouching when you jump. However, when you jump, you just travel in an arc like this. So any good player can just track you as you jump. So you want to use jumping as a surprise tactic, not as your only tactic like that guy did, because he just jumped around the corner and he just giga panicked and just started getting shot. If he didn't jump the second time and slid, he probably would have survived. This is a decent angle to hold. Your other teammate's going, you need to go. Yeah, staying up here is good. We got nades, a bit late on the uptake, but we used them. There's 1 down, 2 down. Guy coming from here. Okay. Ooh, a little twitchy. A little twitchy on the BR aim, but not bad. As always, like I say, just go into academy and don't worry about getting de-scoped when you shoot people. Like, just scope in. Teamwork again. And rounds 1. So again, you could tell from what was going on there from the green team is that they were just kind of running at you, and you know, you don't want to be on the team that's doing that. They weren't waiting for each other. They had poor situational awareness where people were getting shot from. Like, look, these bullets here that are getting fired, you can tell where the player is who's shooting them. The weapons are bullet trails for a reason. Just completely skimmed over the start of the round there. So let's have a look. So here, usually, you'll have a player that will go up to trash. I like to stand, personally, I like to stand here with red gun. And then I like my allies to push underneath and then someone to sort of push the left. And then the last player can almost push underneath too. So what that does, it gives you like a nice little... I just counted 5 people there. Sorry, 1 underneath. It gives you a nice little formation to push up, but also the safety that you're not hard committing to something. If the guy at commando gets shot, he can back up. If the guy at the pink stairs gets shot, he can back up. If the guy at the bottom mid gets shot, he can go to the left for support or the right for support from his teammates. As the person who's up top mid, your job is to provide covering fire, usually shooting the guy in A in the head because he's got his commando. Let's see what happens. So you choose to go commando. This is good. So how do you play this? Good. We're looking at the angle. You overcommitted a little bit now, though, because if those players did push down mid like this, you have literally nowhere to go. So you got to be careful when you're playing this angle down in trash. And also, B stairs is completely open right now.
We have the ball. Ball dropped.
So just be mindful. I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to do in a gold lobby, but I'm just saying against better players, you have to be careful. Again, that guy just held W. He was at a disadvantage and he pushed. Not a good idea. Again, that guy knew you had rockets and he continued to push. That was unfortunate. You could have just team shot the guy and you would have survived, but your team got him anyway. So thinking where you were going to spawn, I think cafe. Yep. Based on where your team was. They're pushing mid. Are you going to hold the back? Yeah, try and hold the bit. People aren't looking. This is good. Holding a potential push angle. This guy's suicidal. Also, another thing I'm noticing is we're not crouching or anything when we're... There's hints of a strafe going on. But I want to see some stuff in Academy where you're learning to try and crouch strafe. Even if it's only a little. Your strafe is very left, right, left, right. There's not a lot of randomness to it. There. So you just left. Even though you were moving back to safety, I suppose. But you could have crouched.
We have the ball.
Looking for crossfires. Bear in mind you are very exposed here to anyone coming from the other direction. Good. Hold it for your teammate. But you can be mindful of where you're standing. You can get railed if you stand that far out.
Ball dropped.
You have to be very careful how far out you stand. Teammates are covering the pink side of the map here, so you're pushing up the other. But there's been some deaths, so you can actually... You can hold here, and you can see through the door here, and you can see enemies here as well. And that gives you an escape route. You are a little far out here. Yeah, you are a little far out. See, yeah, you even started to move to the right. It's just positioning, honestly. You had the right idea, you were just a little too overcommitted. We all do it. So just be careful on that one. So your teammates are still running in now, and rockets are up. And you're at a disadvantage. So I'm guessing the enemy's going to get rockets are up, rockets are up. Look, rockets. Oddball's not important right now. The other team definitely has rockets, and we don't know where they are. He's behind you. Yeah. So there. Management of what's going on. Rockets are a very important resource on this map, and they can snowball the game. So if we just go back and watch that again. So rockets are coming. Rockets are coming up 1 second, and they're up, and we're at a disadvantage. I would have probably just held front air there to the left. But now you've extended. You scoped in as well, so if they rotated up here, if they were a good team and they pushed up here knowing they have more people on the map, you were dead. If they had someone here and here, you were dead. They've got someone on palms. Unfortunately for you, this guy is not really looking at what's happening on B stairs. There's no crossfire from the other team whatsoever. In a higher level lobby, they would have probably had someone here, someone pushing up here, and maybe even the guy that, you know, the ball guy's back C and he can offer some shots. So again, at lower lobbies, you can see the positioning's quite sloppy. And again, I'm not flaming. I'm just saying that this is the difference between gold and diamond. It's that the diamond players aren't necessarily any better at shooting in some cases, but their positioning is far superior. You can also have the flip of players in diamond where their positioning is very good, but their shooting's not very good. Personally, I feel like I fall into the position where my positioning, I'm the sort of player where my position is good, but my aiming is not so good compared to other Onyx and high diamond players. But that's just how I feel, and everyone falls on a spectrum on there. So anyway, so yeah, positioning really important. This was a big misplay. The rocket guy's clearly behind you. He's going to go up tires, jump up, or around to back here. That's the usual play. Teammate dies. You die too. Get crossfired from top C. So now it's 2v4 again. There's no way that your team gets the ball here, 2v4. Nope. One guy alive. Is he going to back up? He's holding the stairs.
Ball drop. Enemy has the ball.
Yeah, it was just a little overcommitment again. So it's okay to push round, and obviously you were trying to pressure with your teammate too. But there's too many unknowns. Like, your teammate here is very, very, very extended. Bearing in mind that this guy's dead, your other teammate's dead, and there's just you. So he's super duper extended. And I would have probably not gone past here and just waited. Because it's just Halo timing. As soon as you cross that line, that guy comes around the corner, you're looking forward, he gets the first shot, you die, and he gets away. It's just Halo timing. Body's having a bit of fun there. I'm glad they added this back in. It reminds me of the Halo 2 glitch on midship where you can put your head through the carbine wall and it'd start all going crazy. It's so funny when it happens. Okay, so they're pushing up B side here. You've got a teammate behind. I like how you're holding mid to prevent anyone from roaming. So you just killed 2 people on the enemy team there. So what are we going to do? We've got the advantage. What are we trying to do? And this is what you should be thinking whenever there's a switch of who's on the map. You should always be thinking, okay, how can I cement my advantage? How can I put myself in such a position based on where I think the enemy's going to spawn, where I can get information safely, get shots with an escape route ready, and prevent me from losing the objective? So I would not venture any further than where you are right now because of where the ball is. And that's what you do, and that's good. And you've got an escape. Yeah, you gotta be careful sitting in the B stairs nade hole. There's a bit to be said about that. Sometimes, I'm not saying it's the right decision in this instance, but sometimes, especially at higher ranks, if you're a high diamond or diamond player that's watching this, sometimes it's better to not shoot an enemy when you can see them, because you then don't give them information. So here, this guy, like when you shot the sentinel beam at this guy, you gave a lot of information as to where you were. And even though the guy at the stairs was nading you and he was probably pushing you anyway, you gave the enemy team direct information where you were. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't help your teammates, but in this instance, I probably wouldn't have shot the sentinel beam here. And some people in the comments might disagree with me. You still have 4 players on the map, and they're still pushing you. And if you can get behind them and they don't know where you are, that is very powerful. Especially if this guy had a push that way and you were just sat in gen. Because then you were behind them, which is very bad for them because they're not going to be able to turn around in time while you're shooting them. But I do like the use of the sentinel beam. Very underrated weapon. If you've got strong tracking, it melts people. So I probably would have held off here because look, you got a little bit of damage, shot your teammate, and revealed your position. And then that guy's chilling where I was said to chill.
We have the ball. Ball
Oh.
dropped.
You can see as well that there's not a lot of like playing of the ball in this lobby. So generally speaking, people will hold the ball till death. They won't drop the ball in a strategic position. So like here, what the green team could do is this ball is in a very open position. They could hold rail and hold up here and try to push bottom C, and they could just play Slayer for a while. And that would be fine because they're ahead by 23 points and there's 3 minutes left. So don't be afraid in Oddball to strategically prevent your enemy from getting the ball. Because if they can't get the ball, they can't win. You don't have to have... Obviously, you have to get some points to win. But once the points are in the bank, you can win just by not letting the other team grab the ball. I'm not saying you should always do that. But in this case, especially when it's at Palms, which is incredibly open, this potentially would be an opportunity to wipe the enemy team and then pick the ball up while they're all dead. See what happens. Okay, so you push up for the ball. That guy is pushing it. Good. So you drop the ball. Good. So what a lot of players do is they don't drop the ball. So that was a good choice. Drop the ball and fight. Okay, there's some in ATM. Think about now, if you die, where's the ball going? Again, it was good that you dropped the ball. It's in a position that's safe to you. The enemy team has to push you to get it. Where you drop the ball is almost as important as where you hold it. Shotgun. Good. That was unfortunate. Enemy rocket launch. When would that rocket launch come up? Did I miss that? Was it while he was dead? It must have been while he was dead. I wasn't paying attention to that. You can hear a nade just flew past on the left though. That would be alarm bells. Yeah. Guys, so again, that guy just turning round. Even the other team making big misplays. Ooh, the melee. See, I would have gone from an alternative angle there. By going on this choke point, you're not providing any value to your teammate. And sitting on the shotgun and not picking it up, also not a great choice. Okay, good. Ooh, you're peeking while you're low. A little off. Zoom in. Scope in. You would have killed him.
Enemy has the ball. Ball dropped. We have the ball.
Ah, unfortunate. I'm not sure you could have got out of that. I think you sort of checkmated yourself going into tires and not going over planters, but it's easy for me to say that.
Enemy has the ball.
Yeah, I think this is round for the green team. So what we're doing, we're trying to pinch round. There will definitely be enemies back here. 100%. Nah. Yeah, they're all there, look. Yeah, so it's just the positioning and sort of rotation. So let's have a look how this final round goes. This is very, very typical sort of low platinum game. Like, there's definitely essence of skill in all the players. They have something they're good at, but they're not 100% at applying it all the time. You like throwing that drop ball out. That guy just absolutely beelined for the rockets there. Let's just have another look at that round start off there. What we're doing. So this guy's not moved yet. This guy's going top A. That's good. This guy's... Oh, you're both going top A. No, you're going... Oh, yeah, you went drop shield. See here, you should be holding this side for the team. Because look where all your teammates are already. It is your responsibility to hold this lane. If you leave this lane open, they can push and get shotgun and ball.
We have the ball.
But again, they misplay it. So they This guy just runs. Don't do this. There's 4 people alive on the enemy team, and this guy just absolutely beelines for the rocket launcher. He's 100% without a doubt dead. And then this guy here, he's waiting. He knows that this guy's dead. Yeah. And then we just wait for shields to recharge. But then, see what I mean? That lane was left completely open, and look what's happened. This guy's pushed around because you just gave it up to him. And one of the things in Halo that's really important is map control, and so many people don't appreciate how important power weapon spawns and map control is. You can have the objective as much as you want, but the essence of the game is to hold key areas of the map that are worth high value and to get the power weapons. And even if you're a better shot than the other team, if they do that better than you, you lose. So that right lane being lost there was a mistake. They can push up the right hand side. That was definitely an ego challenge. Don't do that. That was another one. Don't do that. All these ego challenges. These guys are half shields and they're rushing you when you're full. You were snookered there. Nothing you could do. He threw a good grenade. Well played by him. Oh, he's got triple. Is he going to get an over? No. He wanted it though. Can't blame the guy. So we spawn in cafe. So if you spawn in cafe, this tells you a lot. It means the other team's like over here somewhere at the other side of the map. Spawns will always be as far apart as they can be. We've talked about this in other videos. You spawning at cafe is very important because it tells you essentially the enemy team is going to be pushing from B. It just tells you flat out that they're going to be pushing from B. Or potentially someone might loop down the stairs and push mid. So I would probably go this way and I would be looking right as doing so. Let's see what happens.
Never tire of this weapon.
Yep, there's one, there's 2.
Enemy there.
You're pinging it, which is really good. There's no comms in this video, but the pings are good. Ooh. Yeah, so a bit of tunnel vision. So when you're up here, this is a brilliant power position, but as soon as you jump, you lose all power completely. This guy can drop down if you shoot him. You're in the air. You're screwed. Yeah, the only place you can go now is back down to where you were stood or over. Neither of those options are good for you right now. Yeah. I have learnt this the hard way many times, and even on stream sometimes in frustration, I do this, and it's still a bad habit that I'm trying to stop sometimes when there's urgency. Do not jump over ledges like this in gunfights. You become, it's like sticking a massive target on your head. Just don't do it. Yeah, you chase for the kill. There's a teammate there. I mean, I'm blaming your teammate too. He should have dropped the ball and just shot him. But, yeah.
We have the ball.
Right, we're probably going to spawn like B side. Yeah. Okay, it's 2v2, I think, at the minute. Nades, good. Nades are in. Don't overcommit. Wait for team. You're still ahead. You've got time. Right, let's not stand on heaven now because the enemy team is there. Back here is a good call. Look at your teammates, what they're doing. So they're pushing. You need to push with them. It's good. Still not seen you scope in with the BR yet. Scoping in with the BR prevents random spread, like we said earlier. It's very important at longer distances. Even at shorter distances. Oh, there we go. There we go. Right, rockets are coming up. How are we going to put pressure? You have no escape standing in cafe like this, knowing they're coming from that direction. That guy completely misplayed. This guy's oblivious to his teammate. He's just going for the objective. What is happening right now? And he dies. And he kills someone else. Wow. And there's rockets. Wow, someone went for the rockets from the ground, dude. Rockets. Get the rockets. Teammates got rockets. What are we doing? We're not being helpful. We've big overcommitted. I mean, we don't want to be stuck in there, but like holding here would have been fine because there's one guy here. We know there's someone over here and we don't know where the rest are. Because if someone comes from this direction and you're stood here, you're screwed. Also, I don't think you're playing with weapon offsets on. Because I think just there, didn't that guy get covered? I think that guy just got covered while you were jumping. It's a bit further back than this, my apologies. I'm looking. I've gone too far back. I think I've gone too far back. No, it's here, isn't it? Yeah, so here, you can just see the guy there. If you had your weapon offset on minus 100% vertical, you would have seen that guy. And you would have known straight away this ain't a good place to be. So, it's in video, scroll to the bottom. Oh no, it's in accessibility, I think. And go to rifle, vertical offset, minus 100%. Some people play with the depth and the horizontal as well. I just do the vertical. You do you. But yeah, you would have seen that guy then. I have no idea how you're not dead. Yet. Now you're dead. Yeah, so it was just that overcommitment. I mean, they did pinch you quite well. And they came from both sides. Okay, your teammates at C there at A, you're going to spawn. Red room's quite a decent spawn. Rather than bottom C. What's the team? You are looking what your team is doing, which is very good. You're not just blindly holding the forward key. You have told the enemy where you are now, though. I would have probably waited a little bit longer till the fighting started. Good. Scoped in on shooting. Very nice. So maybe you were zooming in. I just didn't notice. Good crossfire. Notice the importance of teamwork. As soon as you start working together, they just get annihilated. The other team isn't doing that.
Nearing victory.
There's still a few minutes of this clip left, so I don't know which way this is going to go. Ooh, that was a good nade. Not using death cam for info. The other team's in panic mode. At this point, you can essentially just slay the enemy team and then pick the ball up to win. You're so far ahead that you have the luxury of time that the other team doesn't have. They tried to play that, but there's just too many of you. Or not. Wow. Yeah. This is game, right? No, it's not. Use the wall. Very good. Very good use of cover. More players need to do that. Don't worry, you have lots of time. Set up with your team. Team's pushing. Be a bit more decisive, though. You can just hold there. There's nothing they can do. Yep. Very good. Do we get some scoreboards? Let's have a look if we get some scoreboard. Do we get some scoreboard? We do get some scoreboard. Brilliant. So we can see that... Come on, show me assists. There we go. So look at the blue team's assists. Look at the green team's assists. Do you notice anything? Because I do. Look at the difference. I mean, I know the other team got heavily outslayed, so the blue team has the opportunity to get more assists anyway. But the reason they have more assists is because they work together more. So if you're the guy on the team with 0 assists, you ain't working with the team enough. Yeah, if you're the guy with 1 assist, you want to get at least 4 or 5 assists minimum per game. Assists win games, and we talked about this last week. And at gold, the teamwork is not perfect. I mean, it's not even until high Onyx, really. But the teamwork's not there for a lot of gold players. It is for this player. This player was actually quite good at helping the team out. The use of mechanics like curb sliding and using aim and using the full sandbox that's provided isn't really present for a lot of gold players. For this one, we did see a lot of different weapons being used, which is really good, and it allows for different ways to beat your opponent. We also saw that the ball wasn't being played when it was basically being held until death. And if you can avoid that, you want to avoid it, because when you're holding the ball, you're not helping. You're scoring, but you're not helping. If you can hold the ball and then play it, so drop it off the end of the map, you could argue that's okay, because you could bait the enemy team and get a respawn somewhere else, etc., etc. In this map in particular, you want to throw that ball into a neutral position or into a beneficial position for you, so then you can fight the 4v4. We didn't really see that in this game from the other team, and in some cases, that's why they lost. And finally, just comms. So there was no microphones in this. I think it's because it wasn't recorded, but there was pings. So you want to be the guy in your lobby that is pinging. This player, Flavor Amazing, does ping, which is good. Some bits to develop, I think, are decisiveness, where you stand when you're taking fights, aim in general and using the scope. You did start to do it towards the end. And then potentially, when you've got the objective, how are you using it to create pressure? So where are you standing and where are you going to throw it if you need to drop it? But I think overall for gold gameplay, this was actually quite good. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And we've got plenty more VoD reviews coming as always. Thanks for watching. Hope to see some of you on the live streams, which I do every so often, especially Tuesdays. We're still pushing towards Onyx. We were 2 points off. But I'll see you in the next one. So see you later. This has been Vanadam. I'll catch you in the next one.